for news that's short, sharp and
Are
shrewd.
you talking about the podcast or me?
Both.
Backhanded compliment.
This is Up Late with Ben Harvey. It's good to be almost out the other side.
COVID or the election?
Both.
Last Up Late before polling day, and I bet you want to ask me who I'm going to vote for.
Well,
Not going to happen. Everyone's situation is different and different parties will benefit different people. If you're a worker on minimum wage, you should vote Labor, because you'll probably make more money if Albo's in office.
If the Fair Work Commission grant a 5% increase, that's 2 cups of coffee a day.
If you're the chief executive of a publicly listed company, I'd say you should probably vote Liberal.
Never have, never will have a mining or a carbon tax.
If you think we need to act on climate change right now and who gives a shit about the economy, then vote Greens.
Tackle the climate crisis by stopping opening new coal and gas mines.
And if you're a complete moron,
Yeah, that's my kind of party. The United Australia Party.
yeah, but who will benefit Australia as a whole, Morrison or Albanese?
I think the best person to be Prime Minister is the person who can best control the extreme fringes of their parties. The two most dangerous things for Australia, economically and socially, are the far right wing of the Liberal Party and the far left wing of the Labor Party. If either of those factions are allowed to dominate, then we have a big problem.
This country's stuck. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
The far left of the ALP would nationalise banks and have us all living on kibbutzes, and they'd tear up the economic policies that have allowed us to get fat, dumb and happy over the past 100 years. And the far right of the Liberal Party would tear up every safeguard that we've installed over the decades, let the market dictate everything and have us all living like we're in the Republic of Gilead.
Good morning, girls.
We want the sensible centre to prevail in both major parties.
It's the best country in the world, mate.
It's the best country in the world, mate. Best country in the
Wouldn't
world.
live anywhere else.
Okay, but who do you reckon is best placed to control their fringe MPs?
Trying to get this out of me. Morrison became Prime Minister against the wishes of the Liberal right. They wanted Dutton. He's had to keep the far right of his party in check ever since he walked into the lodge, which is a tough thing to do. Just ask Malcolm Turnbull.
Above all, I wish the new Prime Minister-elect the very best.
ScoMo's pretty far right himself.
True. But the spectrum goes way past where he is. Don't worry about debating which sports trans kids should play. There are elements in the Liberal Party who don't want to acknowledge that trans kids exist. Scotty from marketing clearly has his own views there, but he is ever the pragmatist and knows Middle Australia is probably a little more socially progressive than he is on that point.
That's what she said. Or he said.
If Morrison wins a second unwinnable election,
I have always believed in miracles.
he will be in an even more assertive position to keep a lid on the maniacs to his right. Middle Australia needs to ask itself whether Prime Minister Anthony Albanese will be as effective at keeping a lid on the far left of his party. If he becomes PM, he won't have clinched the unwinnable. He'll have won the unlosable. Labor has been ahead in every poll since Adam was a boy, and Morrison is one of the most detested prime ministers in history. So Albanese's not going to have a huge amount of political capital if he gets in office, and he's going to have his work cut out for him reining in those individuals who would, at the drop of a hat, end offshore processing of asylum seekers, bring in a carbon tax and a mining tax.
What did you make of Labor's costings today?
So Albo will spend $8.4 billion more than the government over the next 4 years. The Libs are saying it's irresponsible because we have $1 trillion in debt, and they've got a point. But you could argue that putting the country $1 trillion in the hole in the first place wasn't the most financially responsible thing to do either. The economy is the most important thing to get right, but it's not the only thing, despite what Morrison is making out.
And one of the reasons WA was able to achieve that surplus was the GST deal, that we're able to ensure that WA got their fair share of the GST.
He's hammering the economic stewardship issue, but here's the thing. International markets decide economic outcomes. Politicians just hang on for the ride. The best they can do is take some of the sharper edges off the financial cycles. They don't have anywhere near the control they say they do, and they deny having any control when it suits them. Morrison's claiming credit for the low unemployment rate.
Lowest rate since 1974.
3.9%, 2.9% in WA. Even people who don't want jobs have got jobs.
Give me the goddamn money! Okay, you know what, asshole? Pull the trigger. My life couldn't get any worse.
Have you noticed that when unemployment is dropping, it's because of astute economic management?
A strong economy means a stronger future.
But when it's on the way up, it's because of international forces outside the control of the government. Same with wages growth. Stagnant wages are caused by subdued trading conditions caused by the pandemic. But rising wages are due to government investments in skills and training. A fall in the cost of living is because the government has managed supply and demand. But a rise in inflation? That's because Russia invaded Ukraine.
We didn't want them to get hit down by the rising costs of living caused by the war in Europe.
Yep, they're completely full of it.
To an extent. And it's never a one-man show or one-woman show when it comes to economic management. Morrison isn't there in the lodge or Kirribilli by himself with a spreadsheet and his crayons mapping out an employment strategy. He has entire ministries and government departments helping him do that. The same government departments, incidentally, that will help Albanese should he become Prime Minister. Anthony knows Australians kicked Gough Whitlam out because he went too far left. And Scott knows we kicked John Howard out because he went too far right.
Okay, come on. Who are you voting for?
Not happening. All I'll say is it might not be easy under Albanese, but it probably won't be much worse than being under 100 kegs of ScoMo. I'm Ben Harvey. If you'd like to watch Up Late with me, Ben Harvey, search for The West Australian on YouTube.